Hi everyone, sorry if it's really bright. I can't do too much about that because these stupid blinds will only cut out so much light. But anyways, it is the 25th day of BookTube Beta. And I've been trying to talk about bookish stuff as much as I can. Sometimes things are just vlogs. Sometimes videos have been of my cat. But I try to keep it bookish. Now, I've done this video before, but I didn't quite like how it turned out. And I might redo all of them, I'm not sure. And whatever comment I had, I might put in descriptions, because a couple I got some nice comments on it. So I'm going to keep those, but I just didn't like how the videos turned out. So I'm here to do a book to movie comparison because last night, lightheartedly, kind of got made fun of a little bit as one of those people who complain about that the book was or the movie was different than the book. And in all honesty, there are a few book to movie adaptations that I really like. Like I like the movie almost as much as I like the book. Um, but there are also ones that just there was no point. When you do adaptations, some changes will have to be made, especially like if the book is 100 years old and you're adapting it to modern time, or maybe the actor doesn't have the exact same hair color as the character, as long as it's not a significant thing in the story and it doesn't ruin the story, I'm fine with changes. But there are things that are changed so much that there was no point in adapting it. You just wrote your own original story. You wrote a screenplay that was your own original idea. So, the Hunger Games. I saw this before, like maybe a year or so before I ended up reading the book. And when I first saw this, I didn't know what the books were about. I had heard of them, but I honestly had no clue what actually the story was about, the characters or anything. But we watched the movie, and I thought it was okay. And then a couple years later, my sister was watching Fire, and I was getting into YouTube, BookTube, and people were talking about the series because the movies were still coming out and everything. And I'm like, you know, before I continue on watching the movies, I should probably start reading the books. So I didn't watch Catching Fire. I caught glimpses of it, but I did not actually watch it. And then I ended up reading the book, and I really loved it. And I will say that I enjoy this a little bit more than I did when I watched the first time. Because the first time I had no clue about the story, I really didn't care. But upon reading it and then rewatching it, I do like the movie a little bit more than I did the first time around. I still prefer the book much, much more. In my opinion, and this is my opinion, this is one of the adaptations that's good, but not as fantastic as people claim it to be. It has great effects, all three movies. Um, I would say score in these movies, especially like this one and I'm gonna say this one and maybe the other one, just because the same type of music is kind of used and reused throughout the series. So this is kind of like the original score and everything. I think the music that they used during certain scenes was fantastic. I liked the acting was good. I think that all the casting was perfect, right? All the actors fit their characters perfectly. Um, they conveyed emotion well, whether it be talking or just physically acting, like the part with Rue, and that's like 3, 4, 5 minutes of music and Jennifer Lawrence as Katniss crying and grieving and everything, and I think that was really well done. That part was well done. The atmosphere, just that grim feeling, the cinematography and all the movies and everything, all that was good. That was all fantastic. Another thing that I will give to the movie is that in the book, it is first person present tense point of view, which I loved. I think the books would have been totally different and wouldn't even have that deep of a feel if they were told differently. However, when you are telling a story from first person point of view, you usually only see from that point of view. So in the movie, we get to see outside of Katniss's point of view, the president and Seneca Crane. Outside of the games, the game makers, we get to see when they go into the games, the countdown and everything. The people outside watching the huge screens and everything. The excited capital people, the worried and anticipating people. Districts, we didn't get to see that in the book because we are only in her point of view. We are there in the arena with her and everything, and that's that. So that is a good thing that the movie did in expanding beyond things. So adding to the story was fantastic. The feel of the movie, it felt emotional. The acting was fantastic. That was all good. So I'm going to get on to some of the things I did not like. I didn't mind what they added to the movie, as I just said, but I didn't care for the things that they changed or took out. And it's not, some of them are small things, but in this type of story, it's the small things that kind of add up to bigger things. Yes, we see glimpses of poverty and everything, as District 12 is the poorest district. Not only is it the poorest district, but she lives in the poorest area of the district. Not only does she live in the poorest district, but there the area she lives in District 12 is called the Seam. And then there is, you know, um, further out in town. And people of the Seam resemble one another quite a bit, and they are described as olive-skinned and dark-haired. There was a whole controversy thing about only basically Caucasian actresses being called to play the role of Katniss, when that type of description can, yes, cover people such as Italians, Greeks, other people who would be considered European or white. But there's also many other ethnicities and races and stuff. And You know, I think she did a fantastic job as Katniss, but we'll never know if anybody else could have done it. But again, Seam versus Merchant, the fact that people, whatever race they are, even if they are European, the fact that there is a tendency in their district of people of a darker skin tone doing more labor and living in more poverty than the people of town who are the merchant class, who are the fairer skinned, lighter haired type people. So that's completely taken out. Um, the fact that they speak of people literally starving to death. The movie is just so watered down. It for a YA book, it was pretty dark in a lot of aspects. There was issues of prejudice, like I said, extreme poverty to the point of, yeah, families, children dying and starving. That's all taken out of there. Tesserae and Madge. So there's a thing called Tesserae, which you can get grain and oil and such for you and your family if you put your name in the reaping bowl more times. So at the age of 12, you become eligible for the games, and if you need extra food, you can put your name in for Tesserae. So at age 12, your name would be in there 2 times, or if you have like a mom and a sister like she did, one name, an extra would go in for her sister, and then for her mom, and then for her. So, and it keeps going up as you get older. In the book, she talks about how her name is in there 20 times, not that she's like 16. And she is friends with Madge, the mayor's daughter, who is completely taken out of the movie. And there's an animosity between her and her friend, between like Madge and Katniss's friend Gail, because as the mayor's daughter, as somebody who is technically from the merchant class and everything, she has enough money not to do Tesserae, or have to do Tesserae. So that whole division, the small divisions within the districts and everything that they talk about, that's all completely just wiped out of the movie. Um, so the world building is just not in the movie like it is in the books and everything. And like I said, the acting's good and everything, but I just don't feel like the emotion watching the movie that I do reading the book. The movie, in a way, kind of drags too. I mean, it's good, but I've read the book a lot more than I've watched the movie. The movie is good as a movie. I just don't think it's the most fantastic adaptation there is. Because just so much is taken out. It's not even that they've changed a few things. It's that they changed things to the point where they don't make sense. If you were going out hunting to provide for your family to keep them from starving and dying, you're not going to go to the black market, pick up a pin, and ask how much. Yes, I know that she got it for free, but she still did ask how much. So she was planning on buying it, possibly. And it's just not realistic. Then there's the games and everything, or just her in the district every day hunting and stuff, but mainly games. Okay, so there's her on the cover, right? But let's look at the back here, okay? Okay, so even there, she does not look as disheveled and dirty as someone in an enclosed forest fighting for their life should be. Like, I understand toning down some of the violence because it's supposed to be PG-13 or whatever, but none of these people at the end of the movie or throughout the movie look like they've been sleeping in the forest with no readily available food or hairbrushes or toothbrushes or anything like that. Like, they all look too perfect for fighting for their lives in a forest. A forest with, deadly plants and other tribute trying to kill you, um, hunting for food, eating uncooked animals and stuff. They just look too perfect. She looked too perfect at the beginning of the movie, for someone that lives in extreme poverty. And I know Jennifer Lawrence didn't want to lose the weight that she was supposed to, so you know, younger girls who would look up to an actress or whatever didn't copy her and startle themselves and everything. Which is fine, you were setting an example, you were a role model. But the clothes in a dystopian type world, a post-apocalyptic world, where you are so poor, you boil water for baths, hunt for food, you cure certain ailments with herbs and everything because you can't afford a doctor, and you still take the chance of dying. You're not gonna look the way she did. You're just not. My problem with the movie was that it was unrealistic in a lot of ways. It was very, very unrealistic in a lot of ways. It wasn't that they changed something minor, like, I don't know, what store they went to or what they wore in their hair or something like that. It's changed things in a way that made absolutely no sense, and that was just not believable. So, as I said, fantastic score, a lot of emotion in the acting, um, you know, uh, expansion beyond the character's point of view. That is all things that the movie did fantastically. But it's just like the other stuff, they were just too scared to just tell the story how it was supposed to be and got kind of lazy at other points. I don't know. It's like, it's half good for what it adds, but bad for what it takes out. And I guess it makes it kind of even. Like, the movie is good, but I highly recommend you read the book. Read it, watch it. They are both good. This is a good movie. I would probably give this movie a 4-star because it is a good movie. It's not fantastic. But, anyways, that is my video. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.